product that we are importing from our supplier in China is as follows. 100 units of size small, 100% cotton, color true red, short sleeve polo shirts that have a unitary price of $3.50 with a total shipment value of 350 US dollars.
In order to achieve the strategic plan, we decided to establish certain objectives that will align with the final goal, which is to have a sustainable supply chain. Where to achieve it, we must establish different processes. One of the main priorities is to find a supplier that is committed to sustainability, where their practices and values show that they are making a change. For this, we will look at their certificates. Then, talking about the raw material, we decided to buy shirts made of 100% cotton. This material is one of the least polluting textiles. Even for the long term, the material we want to use is recycled cotton. Now talking about the package and packaging, we know that most of the clothes are wrapped in individual plastic bags, and to avoid using so much plastic, the goal is to use either paper bags or cardboard dividers and send it in a single box, being that in the future we will look for more options to reuse this packaging. And now, about the transport, we choose to use the plane. This means of transport pollutes less compared to sea freight, where another of its advantages is the time it takes to arrive. And because we're only buying 100 pieces, it is not so expensive. And finally, we're going to talk about human resources. And well, this is a primary area to achieve the goal, since it would be in charge of establishing the KPIs and measuring these metrics based on knowing what the progress is.
As we mentioned in the diagram, in order to have a sustainable supply chain, it is necessary that the first thing we must do is an analysis of the potential suppliers as well as the practices they carry. Secondly, we must compare these practices so that later, taking into account various points, we can evaluate which is the best supplier of those taken into account. We must consider also the design of the products themselves to identify the impact that they have on the environment. And we must also apply measures that support the environment and develop a plan throughout which we use fuel in a more efficient way. Finally, we must optimize the productive and logistical assets at disposition and establish commitments with business partners.
There are different resources that we need in order to complete all this importation process. For example, we have the material ones where you can find this product, in our case, fashion casual fast dry, short sleeve polo, or the transportation that goes for truck, ship, plane. Then we have the financial ones where we have the money in order to pay all the logistics process. Of course, this can be um, negotiated according to the Incoterm you decide, whether it is in charge of the buyer or the seller. Then we have the money for paying the product, this cost that your supplier gives to you, and this is in charge of buyer, the Incoterm insurance. Now, human resources talks about all this capital human you need, all these people you need in order to complete your entire process. For example, these documents that are required, the bill of lading, fiel, opinión positiva, commercial invoice, among others, and of course your customs agent, the buyer and the seller. Then we have the last one, the software resources, whether we can find over here all the computers, and for example blockchain in case that the payment method could be negotiated that way.
Now we will talk about our logistics process. As we have mentioned before, our chosen supplier is Wanshu Lofeng Cloth Product Co., a company located in China. So the route of our merchandise would be transported by an air method, and it will depart from Guangzhou Baizhong International Airport to the Mexico City International Airport, to later go to Huipulco in Tlalpan. Likewise, we must consider several points within the destination airport, both the handling maneuvers, the review of the merchandise to see that everything is in order, both in terms that the entire order has arrived and that it is in good condition. Also, we must take care of the security fee and other processes which we must comply so that in this way we can actually verify that the operation up to this point has been carried out correctly. Also, in general terms of what should be carried out with the customs agents so that the logistic process continues to be carried out in a good way, it would be request handling of the product as well as having all the necessary documents in order and generate a customs declaration. The classification of the merchandise must be in order and also not to mention the calculations of the customs declaration and the payment of it. Going on, the next step is in the customs, where they will review all the documents specified before, as well as an examination and inspection of the merchandise. If the customs traffic light gives us green, the next step is the last leg from Mexico City International Airport to the T-Shark facilities in Huipulco, Tlalpan, and also in Mexico City. And also, in the end, the container has to be returned.
To begin the logistic route, it is important to establish where the two parties are located. The name of the importer is T-Sharks, located in Tlalpan, Ciudad de Mexico. The name of the exporter is Guangzhou Cloud Product Company, located in Guangdong, China. Next, we will cover the Incoterm. The chosen Incoterm is DAP, or Delivery at Place 2020. Under this Incoterm, the exporter must make the goods available to the importer at the chosen location of origin. The exporter is not responsible for unloading the goods at destination or for any customs-related costs, tariffs, taxes, fees, or duties that may apply. The importer is responsible for all risks involved with processing the import customs clearance and all the applicable duties and taxes upon cargo arrival at the destination. Under DAP, the exporter is responsible for the majority of the transportation process and leaves minimal liabilities for the buyer. Next, we will cover the route that was chosen. The first leg is the national route. For the initial route, trucking will be used to transport our merchandise from our supplier premises to the destination that will be the starting point for the next leg. The initial address is the address of our supplier, and the end address is the Guangzhou International Airport in the Guangdong province of China. The approximate distance is 83 kilometers, and it will take around 1 hour to reach the destination. The chosen company is called Omni Logistics. In terms of sustainability, the company has signed a climate pledge, which commits to measuring and reporting greenhouse gas emissions regularly and to implement decarbonization strategies in line with the Paris Agreements. The main leg is the one where our merchandise will be crossing international borders. For the main leg, our air freight will be used to transport our merchandise from China to Mexico. The initial address is the Guangzhou International Airport in the Guangdong province of China. The end address is the Mexico City International Airport. The chosen company is Maersk. In terms of sustainability, the company has implemented the following objective practices. Maersk has reduced its CO2 emissions by over 46% since 2008, and it is also committed to reducing its CO2 emissions by at least 60% by the year 2030. For our third leg, our merchandise will be transported from the airport to the end destination using a trucking transport service. The initial address is the Mexico City International Airport. The end address is our importer's facilities located in Tlalpan, Ciudad de Mexico. The approximate distance is 20 kilometers, and it will take around 30 minutes to reach the final destination. The chosen company to carry out our last leg is DHL. DHL has three principal sustainability commitments. They are as follows. The first one is to clean the operations for climate protection. The second commitment is to have a great company to work for all. And lastly, DHL strives to have a highly trusted company. The international insurance that we chose is called Flexport. Some of the highlights of Flexport include the following. The insurance will cover the merchandise from the initial point of the route all the way to the importer's door. It includes a per shipment policy, which allows us to cover the shipment on an individual basis. It has a $0 deductible. Maximum value is based on the declared value of the merchandise. Flexport's platform gives users the ability to quickly report and get paid for damaged claims. It is easy to request purchase insurance and to customize it to meet the needs of the user through their tech-enabled process. And it also has a 4.7 out of 5 customer satisfaction.
So we have all the documentation needed in order to import, and all commercial imports into Mexico, whether they are temporary or permanent, can be executed by a qualified and authorized Mexican customs broker agent. In the case of textiles, apparel, and footwear sectors, the importer must be registered in the pattern of importadores for textile, apparel, and footwear products. Now, the basic Mexican import documents is the Pedimento de Importación, These documents must be accompanied by a commercial invoice, a bill of lading, documents demonstrating guarantee of payment of your taxes, duties, and if needed, documentation demonstrating compliance with Mexican product safety and performance regulations. And we have another, such as certificate of origin, certificate of weight and volume, and also the RFC, and another documents that in the PDF they are explained in more detail and step by step of every document.
Talking about the packaging, we have the product dimensions, and for one piece, which is one t-shirt, we have 15 per 20 per 2 centimeters. Then we have the box dimensions, and the dimensions are 40 per 45 per 35 centimeters. And in one box, the 100 pieces fits in. After that, we have the volumetric weight, which is 15.75 kilograms. And then the packaging characteristics, we want to have a sustainable package. And for this, each t-shirt must be in a paper bag and all pieces in just one box. And here we have a label, and a little bit of the explanation is first we have the brand name, which is Halophone. Then we have the GMDN description, which is one of the 25 mandatory core data elements. After that, we have the device identifier, which is the t-shirts. Then we have the production identifier, which is the lot number. And then we have the date on which the t-shirts were first produced. And after that, we have all the instructions for the storage and handling. And that's why we put some of the symbols. First, we put this side up, then we put handle with care, and then keep dry. After this, we have the unique device identifier, which is the DI and PI. And then we have the manufacturer information, which is the label name and labeler physical address. And finally, we have the support contact information, which includes the company, phone number, email address, and the web page.